Some good news for Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. I have all the details and what they just announced right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I do want to share with you some good news that was just announced in regards to fixed income benefits administered by the Social Security Administration, encompassing all the beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of this video, which has about 70 million people included. Now, I do want to talk through the details of this announcement and what they're now saying and how this is going to translate into more money in your monthly check and more money in your pocket or your bank account every single month. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching the latest details hitting the wire and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay posted on what is actually going on right now as things are changing very rapidly, and of course, all these new announcements coming out that are directly impacting your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and how much you're getting. As we all completely recognize, fixed income beneficiaries need a lot more money right now. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about the announcement that was just made and how this is going to translate into a little bit more money in your monthly check, and how this is going to translate into some good news for fixed income beneficiaries. Considering the current landscape and what is going on right now, it certainly could have been a lot worse, right? All right, so let me explain what is going on here. So, as of recently, like we've been talking about for a while now, we continue to watch what is going on in the economy and, of course, inflation. Now, what does inflation have to do with Social Security checks? It all directly relates to the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA raise, that we get each individual year. Now, we cannot take this for granted because some years the COLA is zero. In fact, in the last handful of years here, we actually have had zero COLAs or even very pathetically low COLAs as well. Not all years are like what we got this year in 2023, 8.7%, right? In fact, this year, the 8.7% was the biggest COLA raise that we've seen since 1981, which is 42 years ago, right? So we certainly can't take this for granted. However, let me share with you some details, because as of the most recent inflation report, we were looking at a potential COLA of 2.7% going into 2024, right? That's what we've been talking about, and that's what they've been projecting. However, as a result of the most recent inflation report that came out, the projections are actually increasing, okay? Now, this is actually an increase, as in they're now suggesting that we're looking at a higher or more of a COLA raise in 2024. Now, to be fair, it's not a ton, but at this point, we'll take anything we can get, okay? It's not going to translate into a lot of extra money, but anything is better than nothing. And like I said, it could have been worse. It could have gone down by this same amount. So the projections a month or two ago, we're sitting at about 2.7%. That is what they were suggesting would be the likely COLA for 2024. However, the latest projections and the new inflation data that has come out is now suggesting we're sitting at about a 3% COLA. Now again, I know some of you here in the community might be thinking, seriously, that's only 0.3%. You're right. But it could have been 0.3% in the opposite direction. We could be talking about a 2.4% COLA, but instead we're talking about a 3% COLA, okay? That's the difference, okay? Now again, every little bit counts, okay? It might not translate into much, but this is the trajectory. Now, as of right now, we do not have the official COLA announcement out of Social Security. That'll be coming in October. However, we're moving in the right direction here, okay? Now, we have a couple more data points to go here, and we have a little bit more information to gather, as in a couple more inflation reports to actually determine how much the COLA will actually be in 2024. But considering we were coming down over several months, and now we bottomed out at 2.7, and now we're moving back up to 3%, as in what the COLA could be. This is good. Now again, I guess depends on how you look at it. It's good because we want a higher COLA, but I guess it's bad because that simply means that inflation is still high on food, right? It's still high on a lot of other things, on transportation and housing and healthcare and all kinds of stuff like that, where we know shelter prices, by the way, that's another huge one out there. But we also know that inflation is still very high on all these things, right? So depends on how you look at it. It's good, but kind of bad at the same time, if you know what I mean, right? But either way, we're moving this right direction. So what simply means is that over the coming months here, as we get the next inflation data points, the CPIW data points, it'll actually suggest, well, is the COLA moving higher? Could we potentially be seeing a 3.3, a 3.6, a 3.9, a 4%? Possibly. Again, I don't want to say for sure because nobody knows. Nobody knows at this point. The data points are not in yet. But as soon as we get this information, and it's released by BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they release their data on the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and most importantly, the CPIW, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, which is what determines the COLA for the following year. Now, again, I totally recognize this is still speculation at this point. We don't know quite yet. It's all a big guessing game, and it's all speculation. But at least we're looking at something that's moving positive here, and it's moving in the right direction as far as getting a little bit more money to beneficiaries. So this is actually, kind of a good thing. I don't know. Like I said, we still have a little bit of time to go. We have a couple more data points to gather here when it comes down to the inflation reports, the CPIWs. But at least we're going from 2.7 to 3% versus 2.7 to 2.4. If we were moving in that trajectory, we may be looking at like a 1.5% COLA or something like that, right? A sub 2% COLA. Well, that would probably irritate a lot of people in a pretty big way. Even though a 3% COLA is honestly not that great, it's not going to do much. It's certainly not an 8.7% COLA like what we saw this year, but it's certainly better than a 1.5% or sub 2%, right? So we could be looking at anywhere between 3 and possibly 4%. Now, I want to be real with you at the same time. Obviously, I'm always being real with you, but I just want to be, transparent and let you know how I'm feeling about this. I do not see a COLA anywhere above 4%, okay? I'm just saying that. Now, again, I don't want to upset anybody. I'm just simply saying, based on the trajectory, based on inflation, based on what they're telling us with these CPI reports and where inflation is currently sitting right now, I just don't think it could possibly happen to get that COLA up over 4%. Now, could we be in the mid 3% range? Easily. Could we drop down to the mid 2% range? We could. Now, I've been saying this for a couple months now. I anticipate the COLA to land anywhere between 2.5% on the low end and about 3.5% on the high end, somewhere within that range. I don't really see it going much above 3.5%, and I probably don't see it going much below 2.5%, especially based on this latest information. However, things could change rapidly. One inflation report that comes out that may be significantly lower than anticipated, don't really see that happening, but if it happens to, occur, then that could completely disrupt all of these numbers and throw off the averages. So I'm just simply saying, that's kind of the range that I'm looking at. 2.5% to 3.5%. Could be above, could be a little bit below, but I would anticipate somewhere in that range. Realistically, probably a high 2%, low 3% is probably realistically kind of fine-tuning it where I would anticipate this to land. So either way, it's a little bit more money in the pockets of beneficiaries. Let's cross our fingers that it actually comes in. The official announcement somewhere kind of more in that high 3% range would be awesome. Like I said, it's not an 8.7%, but at least it's better than a 1%, 1.5%, or even 0%, which could also be a thing. Don't think it's going to happen this year, but it could be a thing, and it has been a thing for many years, okay? So anyway, we all know that the COLA is incredibly important. We want to rely on this and important stuff. At least it's somewhat of a good announcement, okay? It could have been a lot worse is what it's coming out to be, okay? Anyway, I know this is kind of ambiguous. I know it's a little bit speculation, but at the same time, we basically got to cling to anything at this point. Any kind of good news that's going to increase checks right now, raise benefits, all kinds of stuff like this, we certainly want to pay attention to it because every beneficiary needs every single penny we can get right now because we've seen the reports, right? We've talked about it. I've seen the stories down below in the comment section. I've seen it. We've talked about it. All the things like that. We know what's really going on out there. It's a tough situation, especially for fixed income. Those people living on benefits administered by Social Security, it's a tough situation out there, right? Anyway, who knows what's going to happen here over the coming months? Either way, I will keep you posted. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Between now and the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of changes to Social Security. I can guarantee you that, okay? Between now and the end of the year, we've got changes coming in. We've got the Farm Bill coming. We've got the COLA announcement. We've got all these other changes to Social Security. We've got the start of the new fiscal year. We've got the new cost of living adjustment for SNAP benefits coming in. We've got the new spending bill for fiscal year 2024. We've got trillions of dollars on the table here, a lot of packages Congress needs to get done here And again, we've got a lot going on here. Either way, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media. Go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Always leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Just trying to do what I can to keep you updated here. I know it's a tough situation. I know everybody's, kind of feeling like we need something right now. I get it, right? So anyway, I'm the messenger. Please don't be upset with me. I'm just bringing you information as I find it through the research. Anyway, enjoy your day. Have a good one. Take care and catch you again later in the